It's sort of a rainy, yucky day, so we're not going to be able to get out on the bass buggy or get out on the water. But that doesn't mean we can't practice those skills that we need to master. And today, I'm going to be pitching and flipping around the yard while I wait for the sky to clear up and get back out on the water. So come along and I'll show you the things that I do to try to hone my skills. And these are simple things that you can do too. And I've got this old beat up jig. It's been through all kinds of stuff and when they've been through the ringer, and this is what I use to practice with. It's the same thing. You want to hold your reel like this. Make sure you got a good pivot on it. Make sure you don't have your jig wrapped around. And it's that bush right there is kind of what my target is, and I just do the same thing. Practice pitching it in there. I want to go low so that I'm staying close to the water's edge. That's the trick. And I work all around that bush, trying to make sure that I get everything, trying to make sure that I get as close to it as I possibly can. The wind's kind of really picking up and it kind of makes it a little bit difficult, but that's kind of how it is on the water a lot of times, is you're going to be pitching with a lot of heavy wind. So this is kind of a good analog for that. And like I said, this is going to be pretty close to the kind of structure you're going to see out on the water anyway. And I practice just like I would out on the water. It's the same mechanics. Big gust of wind right there, and that's what I do. Practice flipping it up underneath that bush. And the farther up underneath that bush that I can get it, the better it is. And I can't tell you how many hours I've spent just doing this over and over and over again, just trying to perfect my pitching technique. And it's something that I'm always working on. Try to find you a place to stand a little bit. I'm standing here on this patio that I've built. Kind of acts like the deck of a boat, so gives me a little bit of a lift. And then when I'm done with that, I will come over here to this side, and there's a few stumps and that turkey pine there, and then I can practice my accuracy. Like if I want to put it over that root, I can put it over that root that's sticking up over there. Or if I want to hit the base of this turkey pine, I just throw it out there and I hit the base of that turkey pine. Thousands and thousands of casts I work on, trying to perfect my form, and that's really what you have to do. Just get out here and work with it. Just because you can't get out on the water doesn't mean that you can't find a way to practice. Find a way to get thinking about it, going through the motions, taking the mental reps, and doing what you need to do. So that way, by the time you do get out on the water, you've put in the time. And it actually transfers. That muscle memory will just transfer from one place to the next. And that's pretty much all there is to it. Just practice it over and over again until it becomes second nature. Like I said, go back and forth. This side over here, I practice keeping it low. And the other side, I practice my accuracy. It gives me a couple of places, a couple of different ways to do things. If you need to, that was terrible. If you need to, set yourself up some 5-gallon buckets in the yard or something, or make your own targets, you know. I mean, I've heard of people using cups or solo cups or whatever those are, big mugs, or even small buckets like that one, like that small bucket right there, that potting, whatever you put a plant in, there you go. Anyway, but that's pretty much it. Just keep working at it, you know. Find yourself a place to work and just practice over and over and over again. And before you know it, before long, you'll have a much better grip on it. Now, you're never going to be 100% perfect, because that's just not how human nature is. You're always going to have times where things don't go so well. But that's what you practice for, to minimize those things, to minimize those occurrences. So, like I said, it's when I get out on the water, I'll have those reps and that mental reps in my head, and I'll be like, okay, well, there's a fish right there. Boom, I can hit that. Or, you know, perhaps over here at the end of that stump, there's a fish right there. Boom, I can hit that. And that's what it all boils down to. So, don't be afraid, just because you're not out on water. Don't be afraid to get out there and practice. Yeah, your neighbors are probably going to look at you funny, but whenever you're out fishing them and you're pulling out those big ones and able to show them on video and on pictures and not just have fish stories, maybe then they'll change their tune. Well, there it is. Just because you can't get out on the water doesn't mean you can't be thinking about fishing, doing those mental reps, and getting some practice in. Thanks for watching Lowbrow Fishing. We'll catch you in the next one.